boundaries set you free, but barriers close you off. It's the love that is available to you, to the happiness, to the closeness, to the intimacy and connection that can be so readily yours. I've learned this through my journey, my grief journey with my beloved father. And it's been another gift and realization that where boundaries had been so necessary for me in my life journey, including in actually really evolving my relationship with my father. I've shared in this video series and past videos the journey of doing this healing work, and in that healing work also the necessity of setting boundaries and how that really supported my relationship with my beloved father. And boundaries have empowered me in every way, right? Boundaries are an act of self-love and self-respect, self-worth and value, our time, our energy, right? Really valuing that and ensuring that we have clear, firm, graceful boundaries in place, right? For our sovereignty, for our health, for our well-being. They can actually really deepen and elevate relationships. They're not always well received. They may not always be well received, but if we're doing the work and doing the best in our capacity to own our boundaries and to set them with that sovereign grace, clarity, firmness, fairness, they are very empowering, and they actually do serve the highest good of all. Whether or not they're initially well received, they are in many ways, sometimes boundaries are what create more peace between people and our relationships. Okay, so I love boundaries. I've mastered boundaries. I teach boundaries to women, to my clients. Very powerful and oftentimes very necessary. What I learned when Papa passed, when Papa went to heaven, is even though boundaries had really helped our relationship and then got us to a place where we evolved so much that we were, affectionate, we were loving, we were mutual love, respect, admiration, I realized that I hadn't realized that I'd actually unconsciously set barriers to how close we could be. So, as an example, I spoke to my dad, and he was always very loving and fun and affectionate, and we really expressed our feelings and told each other how much we love each other, and it was really beautiful. But I didn't talk to him every day. And the barrier I'd unconsciously set was I was so grateful for how far we had come in our relationship, from how painful it had once been and tumultuous and challenging and triggering, to how far we had come, how much we had healed everything, how much we had evolved, that somehow I got mentally stuck. Like that's as good as it gets. It's like, wow, I'm so proud of us. I'm so grateful that we are in such a loving, healthy relationship. Then I could have been so much closer. And in fact, in a really human way, we have a family thread, a WhatsApp group, right? And then my dad every day would send his 5,000, he literally has over 5,000 Facebook friends and thousands of friends. Like I shared earlier, he had, I don't know if I shared this yet, but he had the largest funeral of anyone in the region in Pakistan. Like thousands of people went. I think I'm going to share more about that later, about his legacy. And he would send everybody, every day, non-stop articles about world politics, science, inspirational quotes. We always kind of laughed in our family thread that that's Papa's random messages, and he sent the same ones to everybody, and he would sign them off, regards, Rai Musharraf, with his full name. So when I would get them in my private message from Papa, I didn't necessarily acknowledge them there. If I acknowledge them, we ignored a lot of them in our family thread because it was like, that's just Papa being Papa, sharing all these random things. We would engage obviously, but usually more like the personal talking. That was like just his thing. And I look at that thread now and I feel so sad that like I didn't respond or engage or start a conversation. And like I shared in my last video, because of my Papa and I evolving our relationship so much, he was able to have a much closer, happier, freer relationship with my younger siblings that I'm so happy for. And I didn't realize that I now could have actually just spoken to him every day. I could have, like, if I didn't have that mental barrier, if I wasn't just so happy for how far we came, could have been so much more, right? And I'm doing my best to have self-compassion for this because it is a regret that I have. I wish I told him like even more every day that I love him. I did tell him, and like we knew that, but it was just like, oh, that's not our bond. Each of my siblings, we all have a certain bond with our parents. I was really close to my mom, and frankly, I have been more concerned with my mom's health over the years, and so I reach out and connect with and check in with my mom all the time. But with my dad, we also just thought he's gonna live forever. We thought like he took such good care of his health, he was so proactive, and we took for granted. And I didn't realize that I got so grateful and content and almost like not complacent, but just like had limited how close we could be because I was looking only at like how far we came, not how much more we could have had. And the reflection I'm having that I hope this serves you and I'm inviting you to have is, where are boundaries serving us? Where are they helpful and empowering, necessary, and for the highest good of all? It's great. Boundaries are not the same as barriers. And even though I didn't intentionally set this barrier, somehow just like having this barrier of that we talk in the family thread mainly, unless there's special occasions or like a personal thing happening, we'll talk privately. We did talk privately, just it could have been so much more. And it was there from his end. Even if it was there on his end in a way where he sent these articles to everybody, I still could have engaged personally. And I know that if I had, he would have loved it. And I just didn't even realize that there was this silly, unnecessary barrier. And how I think of barriers now is those unconscious or unintentional ways in which not only are we're somehow withholding the love, the connection that we could have, right? So something to reflect on if it supports you is, where are boundaries necessary for you? Where are they really helpful and empowering and serving the highest good of all? But where could we release any conscious or unintentional barriers to love, to closeness, to intimacy, to more connection? Even if it's simple as calling your mom more often, or a parent or a sibling or a friend, and checking in on your loved ones more, or just getting even closer. Like, why not? Why not? Why don't I see this person more often? Why don't we talk a little longer? Why don't we just text? Why can't we have a phone call? Why? So there's so many ways, and sometimes we just get used to a relationship being a certain way. But actually, we have access to so much more love and connection that's available to us. So boundaries versus barriers. Boundaries, healthy, empowering, serve all parties. But barriers, whether intentional, unintentional, conscious or unconscious, they actually can limit us and close us off to the love, the connection, the happiness that is right there, ready and available to be given and received. So I hope this serves you as something to reflect on, and I'm making an effort now in my life to be more mindful in connecting with people. It's something I need to work on. I'm actively working on this, and really not wanting to have more regrets around this. And it's been tough to have grace and self-compassion for this part, because I'm never going to get my dad back, and there was no second chance. So I just really hope we can do a little reflection on maybe not realizing where we've taken certain relationships for granted, or just our time with each other, for granted, and where we can release the barriers to love, as the poets and mystics have taught us forever. And may we dissolve our barriers and give and receive the love that is the greatest blessing that we have here for each other.